Hi, everyone. Thanks very much for having me. I'm excited to be here to talk a little bit about Life 360. I know most of you probably know a little bit about us, so I'm not going to go into a full overview on who we are, but just a quick summary and snapshot. Life 360, as of today, we're the largest mobile app for families in the world. Our core functionality, if I really simplify it, it's like a Find My Friends on steroids, but for the family use case. So where are your family members? Get alerts when your kids get to school, your spouse leaves the office. And then we layer on a whole bunch of safety stuff, like if someone finished a drive, we'll tell you low battery, how someone's driving. It's all rolled into our location safety app. And on top of that, we have what we call our family membership, which for a monthly fee, which I'll talk about soon, you get a whole range of safety features like roadside assistance, crash detection, stolen phone protection, identity theft protection, and a whole lot more. So where we are today, we have over 25 million monthly active users in literally every country in the world, although we are very much centered in the US. We have 884,000 paying circles, which is our proxy for families, over 59 million of cash in the bank, and 200 employees officially headquartered in San Francisco, but now very remote. And that was happening even before COVID, but now distributed all over the world. We've announced some very good results in the face of COVID headwinds. We ended Q3 with over $80 million of annualized monthly revenue, and we're growing in spite of, again, a very difficult operating environment with COVID for us. And for the first time in the company's history, we've been cash flow break even and now done it for 2 consecutive quarters. We are what's called a freemium business, and I know a lot of investors in Australia are not as familiar with that as those in the US, so I'll quickly explain how that works. So all of our customers come in by downloading our free Life 360 application. We then make most of our money by turning those free users into subscribers who then pay us a monthly fee for their membership. That's most of our revenue, as you can see from the chart on the right. And then we have another business line of indirect revenue, which is monetized across the entire user base with things like lead gen and our data platform, which makes us make money from customers, even if they're not paying us directly. So our company has been around a very long time. We're a very early mobile app, and we're very excited about this next chapter we're entering of our existence, where we're now launching our family safety membership, which I very quickly referenced. And we've been on a very long arc. When we started, we were very much the prototypical Silicon Valley company of just get users, monetize later. Then we started monetizing by putting paywalls in our app. Then we added new features in the driver safety space to show we could disrupt a single industry. But now we're at a new phase of the company, which is, can we build a holistic brand around 360 protection, which is why we called our company Life 360 to begin with, around just making a company where if you're a family, you're a parent, you just get Life 360 because you know it has your back across a whole range of things you worry about. And I'll talk a little bit more about that and that evolution. So prior to our membership offering, our core services were very much focused on families with teens, with a little bit of relevance when kids moved away to college. But in particular, around our premium features, they were focused on this very narrow life stage. And our crash and roadside assistance premium offering, which was all we had before membership, although it is useful for all life stages, like a lot of people in Australia have NRMA. We do all of that and more for a lower price. The real visceral emotional connection was very much anchored to that college, teenage and college age phase of life when you're worried about your teenager getting new independence, driving themselves or driving with other teens. What we've now done is built a whole range of services that are catered to every life stage. So when kids move away from college, they're getting in their independence. We have the SOS feature, which is great for young adults walking at night, and they might be worried, women in particular. We have our identity theft protection service, which is something that becomes very relevant when you're getting your own financial independence for the first time. And we also have what we call our Family Safety Assist product, which is essentially on-call help for anything you worry about. My kid drank the Tylenol, I'm traveling and I need to get home and I lost my passport. All one touch with Life 360. And more than just the features we have today, membership is a platform for our next stages of growth because we have a model which makes it very easy to plug in new features and services as we grow. So if you look at what we have now, I'm not going to read all the features we have, and I'm going to get into a little bit more detail on the next slide, but Essentially, most people come into our free account, so basic Life 360 account. You get most of the location sharing services for free. And then we have a range of offerings based off a very low price, $4.99 a month silver price point to $19.99 a month for platinum, which is for the family that essentially wants the best for everything. And if you look at what we're doing, we're not necessarily innovating on all our premium features. Where we really innovate is our free mobile product around location and communication and our mobile experience. What we're doing now with premium is taking what a lot of people were doing with other services, other companies, and very niche services, which were very expensive. We're bundling them all together for a fraction of the cost, literally 90% less than if you were to buy everything we offered from individual service providers. The reason we're able to do this is what we call mobile economics. I mentioned we're a freemium business in the beginning of the presentation, and that has enabled us to build a very, very large user base that grows organically, extremely efficiently, unlike a lot of companies where they have to buy all their users, extremely high cost of customer acquisition, sales teams, tow truck infrastructure. We don't have any of that. And because our users are paying for their own phone, they're paying for their own data plan, we're not paying much to acquire them, we can maintain similar margins for that much, much lower price, which is also why we're very excited about this next phase of our growth, where we're moving the value prop away from any given feature and much more to this more holistic. If you're running a family, come to Life 360. We cover all these things you're worried about for that very low price. We're very excited about what this means in terms of driving next wave of growth, because we've already seen great performance, almost 100,000 paying members in these tiers, with a very large increase in average revenue per paying circle, 30% when we look cohort to cohort over pre and post membership offering. But if I look at what this is doing overall, it's increasing our brand reach and market reach. It's increasing our premium conversion. It's increasing average revenue per paying circle. That has a huge opportunity to extend that life cycle and decrease churn, which drives right to our customer lifetime value, which then translates into revenue, and obviously then the ability to push more on those growth levers as we prove we can monetize the base. I did mention we've performed very admirably in the face of very strong COVID headwinds. So unfortunately, we aren't one of those digital companies that COVID has been a blessing. The entire premise of the app is your family out and about and on the go, which has been very much restricted. When COVID first hit in March and April, we dropped our top of funnel by over 60% in the US. We've since recovered that, and we're back to growth almost with no paid marketing spend. But if you look at the numbers, I know everyone's familiar with them. Even though we're having this absolutely incredibly high surge in cases, we're performing very well. Retention's good, growth is maintaining, and as I mentioned, we had been cash flow break even, so a lot of cash in the bank, all while our brand recognition is going well. So we're in a very good spot to come out strong and return to even more aggressive growth once COVID passes. One thing that you might have also seen if you've been following us or seen the news, we announced a very significant collaboration with Google, where we are now the default family location provider for all Google Assistant devices. So the ones on their phone, eventually in your car, and most importantly right now, the smart screen assistants that are competing with Alexa in the home. Right now, if you have a Google Assistant device, you can say, hey, Google, where's my family? And without even having to reference Life 360, if you're a user, we'll automatically pull up your family members' locations in the Assistant device. And if you're not a Life 360 user, we'll actually encourage you to download Life 360, because basically what Google has done is they've acknowledged us as the leader of that family graph. And instead of competing with us, which they were doing with a product called Trusted Contacts, which they wound down just a few weeks ago, they're now leaning on us to provide family location for their entire platform. So what we think this shows is Google has recognized us as a leader, and we also hope it addresses a lot of concerns that we've seen investors having, which is Google going to really aggressively compete with us? And sure, over time they could, but right now they're very much becoming a partner that is going to enable future growth versus something that is aggressively trying to compete with us. So in summary, we're very excited for the next decade of growth. With membership, it really is that next chapter of our company's existence. It's why we called the company Life360 to begin with. It's why we've raised a significant amount of capital, is to build this very comprehensive and broad product. And there's a lot that really excites us. Our expanded product suite with membership lets us have a whole new angle to market our product, offer new services, and have this platform to really grow. We're launching new channels. We're launching initiatives around brand that are having huge success. So we're becoming very much a household name in the US. And as I mentioned, this is the early days, not the end. We have a very robust roadmap from new features to more around lead gen to international expansion, which is going to continue to drive the growth, especially in average revenue per paying circle that we've been seeing. So with that, I will open it up to question and answers. And thank you very much for the time.